Lots going on besides the Democratic vote, or the Republicans' attempt to vote in the Senate on health care.
Yeah, let's start with North Korea. There's shock, outrage and sadness surrounding the death of Otto Warmbier, a 22-year-old college student released last week from a North Korean prison camp. He was in a coma. He was being treated at a Cincinnati hospital. He died there yesterday. Warmbier was convicted by North Korea in March of 2016 for attempting to steal a propaganda poster. He was then sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. He was evacuated and arrived back in Ohio with extensive brain damage. His family says he was unable to speak or see. North Korea claims that Warmbier contracted botulism and fell into a coma after taking a sleeping pill, a dubious explanation that American doctors roundly reject. President Trump, who once said it would be an honor to meet Kim Jong-un, weighed in on Warmbier's passing.
Otto Warmbier has just passed away. He spent a year and a half in North Korea. A lot of bad things happened, but at least we got him home to be with his parents, where they were so happy to see him, even though he was in very tough condition, but he just passed away a little while ago. It's a brutal regime, and we'll be able to handle it.
Senator John McCain, as ever, was more direct in a statement saying, in part, "Let us state the facts plainly. Otto Warmbier, an American citizen, was murdered by the Kim Jong-un regime. In the final year of his life, he lived the nightmare in which the North Korean people have been trapped for 70 years. Forced labor, mass starvation, systematic cruelty, torture and murder. The United States of America cannot and should not tolerate the murder of its citizens by hostile powers." 3 other American citizens are currently detained by Pyongyang. The Chinese tour company that held the trip Warmbier was on now says it will no longer take Americans to North Korea, and in a statement said the way Warmbier was detained was, quote, appalling. The Washington Post spread Hyatt wrote a powerful piece published prior to Warmbier's death entitled "Why I Can't Stop Thinking About Otto Warmbier," and it reads in part, "We don't know whether North Korean guards beat Warmbier into a coma or whether his abuse and maltreatment came in some other form. What we do know is that a healthy young man flew to Pyongyang, was unjustly seized, and then became lost to the world. With no one bothering to inform his parents, here's something else we know. Thousands, no, hundreds of thousands of Koreans have been subjected to similar criminal abuse as Otto Warmbier suffered. The Gulag of the Soviet Union, the concentration camps of Nazi Germany, they have been roughly replicated in North Korea. The whole world knows this, and yet the regime lives on. How can that be?" Amazing, Mark, isn't it? I mean, this story from beginning to end has heartbreak written all over it.
Yeah, and, you know, it comes at a time when this has been elevated. President Obama elevated it. President Trump elevated it, said this was maybe the biggest foreign policy crisis, the biggest challenge the U.S. faces. But we all have seen in the past a personal thing, a story of someone can change the issue, can galvanize the issue. Let's bring in Gordon Chang, columnist for The Daily Beast and the author of The Nuclear Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World. So, Gordon, is this an opportunity, the tragedy of this young man's death, an opportunity for the administration to change course, to get more leverage, or to just complicate what was already a complicated situation?
Probably the answer is both. This does galvanize the American public, as you mentioned. Also, you know, President Trump is rumored to have given the Chinese 100 days to solve this from the Mar-a-Lago conference in the first week of April. That ends July 16th. There's Japanese newspaper reporting about that. But also, coincidentally, 100 days is Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross's plan to reduce the deficit. I think that essentially the Chinese don't have 100 days anymore because the American people are going to demand answers. This is not just the brutality of one individual. This is putting the United States at risk with ballistic missiles and nuclear weapons. And so all of this is coming to a head at the same time. And President Trump has no way to run from this.
Gordon, the case of Otto Warmbier is tragic. It's also kind of unique. The North Koreans have not in the past treated American captives this badly. They tend to have returned them home in good condition. We don't know exactly what went wrong, but do you think something is changing in North Korea, in Pyongyang, that this happened? Are they trying to send a signal? Are they trying to do something different, or was this just a mistake that was made somewhere?
Yeah, we don't know the answer to that question, but we do know the regime of Kim Jong-un is less stable than it appeared to be a couple of years ago. In January, we had the detention and the demotion of the Minister of State Security, one of the most important persons in Pyongyang, as well as the execution of 5 of his senior officials. And then there was the assassination of Kim Jong-un, the elder half-brother of Kim Jong-un, the ruler. So there's a lot that I think is going wrong in Pyongyang. And so although it is surprising that they would brutalize an American in this way, it very well may be just another manifestation of problems in the North Korean regime itself.
Okay, Gordon Chang, thank you. We're going to talk more about this story throughout the morning.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.